Hey guys, Nuccio Africanus here, back with match 2 game 1 versus my opponent Ruski Jim as the Dwarfs, and I am the Skaven, playing as Lord Skrulk, and he is Belagar Ironhammer. He's brought a pretty elite force. So yeah, see here, starting off, basically I'm kind of a little bit surprised by how high quality his infantry is. So I kind of start to like spread out a little bit instead of keeping my original formation, but it didn't stop him from focusing down the rattling guns. Really trying to get them. I probably should have kept the warp sail. No, maybe it's fine actually. No, I'm trying to get in there and get a good shot on the cannons themselves. But what kind of leaves me, if he has less stuff, it's going to really be hard to stop my Death Runners from coming on in. Especially from taking out these high value targets like the cannons, the Buggermen, and the Iron Drakes. So coming on in, getting some pot shots up here, trying to keep all of his attention back here, keeping my Doom Flares in the back. I don't want them to be shot. I think they're going to be really key to this victory at first. You know, that's my thinking right now. These rattling guns get focused down, unfortunately, but that's okay. I'm starting to get some pot shots off with my poisoned wind mortars and really just trying to get some openings with my Death Runners. Bringing up everything. I think I'm bringing up Lord Skrulk, trying to get off some spells. Maybe even get close enough to do a summons on the cannon. I don't know. That might be too risky. There you go. We have our Warp Zell, or Warp, what do you call them? Warp Giselles firing on the cannons. Here, good stuff. And here comes down, trying to take out this front line. And I think over here, trying to bunch up all this elite infantry, then so I can use my mortars to try to get them, you know, get some good shots on them. But he doesn't fall for it. He moves his giant slayers up in the front, trying to protect this artillery. Very smart. So I kind of don't change my focus. And then I move these Death Runners to just single-handedly to try to take on here. Over here, my Death Runners, I thought about trying to go for the artillery, but I thought it was a little bit too risky, so I thought I'd take out the Iron Drakes first. Good stuff. I think it was a good decision. They make good work of him, even though they're getting shot a little bit by the Buggermen. And here comes my Doom Flares. Good. He did move away his Giant Slayers, which is fine. So my Doom Flares had a good opening. They're going to get rid of these Longbeards and these Dwarf Warriors pretty easily, especially with support from the Death Runners. These Death Runners kind of went a little YOLO, but they're going to get rid of one of the cannons. These hammers are a threat, though. And I don't know, these rattling guns are kind of hitting them a little bit more than the other guys, but that happens with Skaven sometimes. Some good shots right there, though. They should probably focus fire these now, though. Okay, good. They're shattered. Now I'm trying to get rid of these Buggermen, which are, you know, a good target to get rid of because they do have regeneration, and my units don't have that much armor except for the Doom Flares. So good right here. Trying to use the rest of these units, just try to get rid of the Buggermen. Over here, we have the Doom Flares coming on in, routing everything, and Lord Skrulk, rest of the chat, tying up Belagar Ironhammer and his Runesmith, moving up the weapons teams. Good stuff right here. Let's see, here's my Doom Flares coming on in. Very good target. Get rid of the organ guns. Get rid of these Dwarf Warriors. They're not going to be able to stop it here. Bringing in Lord Skrulk for support. Got to be careful of these... Where are they? Of these Giant Slayers, though. We can't let them catch our Doom Flares. Taking some pot shots at these right here. I think I'm just going to sack the Death Runners. That's okay. Bringing them in here just so that my weapons teams can kind of focus down this area. Letting these Death Runners kind of, you know, rest a bit, or I'm not paying attention to them. Yeah, his motor's doing work. Basically, I think as long as I'm careful with my Doom Flares, I think this battle's in the bag at this point. I don't think there's a lot he can do. He doesn't have a lot of tools to stop me. Bring over my Doomflayers here. Then I'm going to bring in the Death Runners as well now. Or no, here comes the Giant Slayers. So I'm going to use my Death Runners to hopefully charge the Slayers. Yeah. I changed my mind. Come back and charge them here. Escape with my Doomflayers. Do not want my Doomflayers fighting these Giant Slayers at all. And they're going to go find other easier prey to deal with. And then these Death Runners are going to trade well with the Giant Slayers. Here comes just tying up Belgar Iron Hammer as best I can with all my chaff. Trying to move up my weapons teams again. Trying to pick off everything I can. These Dwarf Warriors with great weapons being tied up by these Clan Rats. Skavens with Skaven slaves with Sleers. And here comes my Doomflayers. This is great. They're going to do good work on the hammers, getting in some Globadier shots. And then probably going to retreat them and let the Globadiers finish their job here. They're very isolated. This is a good way to use the rest of the ammo where everything else is tied up. So yeah, here comes my Doomflayers. It's going to retreat. Yeah, go into these Buggermen. Be good to get rid of them. And yeah, I think we're in a really good spot here. Obviously, Belgar, Ironhammer, and his Runesmith are going to be hard to deal with, but I don't really care that he's getting rid of my chaff. The Vulcan Tail Slashers, good unit, just tying them up and letting the rest of my units do good work here. Yeah, these units are very isolated. I can just pick them off with the mortars. They're almost used all their ammo, but they've gotten 2 chevrons. They've done really good work here. Their cannons were able to focus down a lot of these Giselles and my rattling guns, but that left these mortars to do good work and, you know, really good stuff. So yeah, just trying to get rid of these. Oh, we've already gotten rid of the Slayers, so these Dwarf Warriors, yep, using my my Doomflayers really well here. Basically, everything is dealt with besides Belgar and his Runesmith at this point. So I'm going to use some of my chaff, some of my Death Runners to chase down routing units. And I think I'm just going to bring Lord Skrull and the Doomflayers for that final battle with Belgar Ironhammer, who has been tied up for most of the game right here. Granted, he has killed a lot of my rats, but a lot of them, most of them are slaves. He's only down to 100 units, and most of them are routing. Here comes the Doomflayers. Gonna make short work of these Longbeards, I think. Yep. Just kind of positioning my weapons teams, not firing in. There's no reason to. Might retreat and take some pot shots in a bit. Not sure. Making sure all the routing units are being chased down by my other units. You know, don't want anything returning. And then here comes the sludge match between Belgar, Ironhammer, and Lord Skrull. Honestly, Belgar is beating up my rat boy pretty badly. But trying to get in there, trying to get the best I can. Doomflayer's doing some work. These Clan Rats, these Clan Vulcan, Regiment of Renown, tying up the Runesmith so we can just focus down Belgar. But again, Lord Skrull just really cannot go toe-to-toe with Belgar in any shape or form, even with all the support around him. So I think I retreat him out a little bit just to kind of watch for a bit. And here comes the Death Runners. Hopefully they can rip through his armor, rip him apart. The Runesmith is escaping though, coming to aid Belgar. Okay, and I start to take some cheap shots at the Runesmith. And I think that's army losses and the end of the battle. Very good battle. Wow, a lot of fun from my opponent, Ruski Jim, in our first battle. He really showed up at the Dwarves, even though the Skaven are a pretty good match for the Dwarves, in my opinion. He brought a really cool army. I don't know if bringing the Dwarf Warriors... I mean, he's not sure what I was going to bring, if I was going to bring Rat Ogres, whatever. I think I would have gone with more Dwarf Warriors. Maybe not the Iron Drakes. Maybe even some Gyrocopters, because you get some vision of these guys. But all in all, this was a cool way to build it. Build his build. A lot of fun to fight. And yeah, it was fun. It's fun bringing this army. You know, obviously my my Poison Wind Mortars were the star of the show because they didn't get focused. You kind of were a disappointment. And also, yeah, these Doomflayers, you know, they stayed relatively healthy to the end, was really careful with them, and they were at full health and just ready to go at the end. These Giselles did really well. These got focused as well. All my chaff did really well just dying and keeping the dwarves at bay so that my damage dealing units could do the work they needed to do. So if you like this battle, please like it and subscribe, and stay tuned to match 2, game 2's battle that I'll post soon with Ruski Jim. See you guys next time. Bye.